This is Highway 99, and it is the most scenic highway in Canada. It's only a 2-hour drive from Vancouver to Whistler along what is known as the Sea to Sky Highway. You'll see why in a little bit, but this is going to take me all day today because there's so much to see and do that we are going to hike, ride, eat, and swim our way from Horseshoe Bay here out to Whistler. If you're new to the channel, I'm Mike. The channel is DownieLive. Let's get it started. So Highway 1, or the Trans-Canada Highway, goes from the east coast of Canada all the way across the country. It's the longest uninterrupted highway in the world, and it ends here at Horseshoe Bay. So first we're going to take what is the old highway. You can see it's a single lane in each direction, and pretty much the whole highway from here to Whistler was single lane with a few passing areas. No center divider, and it was extremely dangerous and had a lot of head-on collisions. So in leading up to the 2010 Winter Olympics hosted by Vancouver and Whistler, they built a much wider, safer, smoother, straighter highway. It actually reduced a half an hour off your driving time. So we're gonna start on the old highway, have it connect to the new one, and keep on going. It's time for a good old-fashioned road trip. And I want you to know that this portion of the video is brought to you by True Earth Eco Strips, which worked well for me because I'd already switched to using these 6 months before they called to ask if I'd do this. So yeah, easy win for me. I mean, these hot, sunny, sweaty motorcycle rides I go on really stink. Regardless, we all have to do laundry at some point. I personally hate having to do laundry, but True Earth makes it quick and easy with their Eco Strips. You see, it's great having these pre-measured Eco Strips. You use 1 strip for a normal load, 2 strips for a big load, or half a strip for a small load. But the real reason that I switched to this is because of the reduced impact on the environment. Look how slim and small this package is, with the same number of loads as a traditional liquid detergent, which means that it is significantly better for the environment to ship it. The carbon footprint is much smaller. There is no plastic involved with this packaging whatsoever. But also, it's fully biodegradable. And they're giving us 10% off. All you have to do, click the link in the description down below and use discount code DOWNIE. So thank you, True Earth, for making a great product and also for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now that we have some fresh clothes, let's make them sweaty. It's time to hit the road. Now, as you're cruising along, it's one thing to enjoy the highway, the curves, and taking in all the views. But if you see one of these, make sure to stop. They're designed to look like cedar hats worn by the First Nations, the Squamish. They're information kiosks. They're often at a viewpoint as well, so you can pull in, check out the view, but also learn about the area geographically where we are and what you're looking out at, as well as some of the cultural heritage of the Squamish Nation as you drive along. In fact, all of the signage that you see along the Sea to Sky Highway was worked together with the Squamish Nation. So you have cultural markers, you have creek and city signs in the Squamish Nation language. So you can learn about these here, and then you can spot them as you drive along. Now the first half of the Sea to Sky Highway is running right along the edge of the coastal mountains here, alongside Howe Sound. And if you look out, you've got amazing views of Gambier Island, Anvil Island, and the Sunshine Coast. And eventually it will bring you to here. This is the Porto Cove Marine Park. It's a protected area for scuba divers. It's also just an old ferry dock that's been converted into a pier. And because it's a provincial park, means it has camping over there. So this is a great stop to come out, stretch legs, take in some sea air, and we're gonna keep going. Next, we're coming up to Britannia Beach, which is most famous for the Britannia Mine Museum, which was at one point the largest copper mine in the British Empire. It is now a fantastic museum where you can actually ride the mining train into the mountainside and really experience what it was like to be a miner back in the 1900s. In fact, it's so fun, I made a whole video on it back in 2018, and I've linked it in the description down below in case you want to see what the whole experience is like. But for now, we're going to continue across the street to this blue and white little roadside stop. So if you're just gonna stop for fast food anyways on your way to Whistler somewhere in Squamish, you might as well stop at the Mountain Woman. It's like a little greasy spoon that cooks out of an old blue bus out of the back. It's been here ever since I can remember, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the first ever food truck. That's absolutely not true, I'm sure, but that's what it feels like to me. It's been around forever. Hi.
Hi.
Should I get a hot dog or a burger?
Whatever you like.
Whatever.
Both are good.
Let's do a hot dog today, please. I knew I was right. I asked her how long she's been here. She said since 1984. That's older than I am. Oh yeah. You don't need to watch me eat. Let's cut back to the bike. So we're here to see Shannon Falls. We're gonna walk the Viewpoint Trail to go see the falls. But if you wanted to, you could also go to the Sea to Sky gondola. There's a trail that'll take you there, as well to the Chief, which has some great hiking trails to get you to the top. So there are a few waterfalls that you can see along the highway as you drive up. This being one of them, and one of the more impressive ones. I mean, we're really lucky in British Columbia, especially this part of the province, because we have such steep mountains that make for pretty impressive waterfalls. Now, I know this is gonna sound really cheesy, but it does make for some of the freshest air out here. Wow, look at it. Shannon Falls here is pretty impressive. Now, just after Shannon Falls is one of my favorite cities. It's Squamish, BC, the adventure capital of Canada. And at this point, you're about halfway to Whistler. And it's a great spot to shop and eat, maybe even stay. I mean, last time I was here, I stayed at the Crash Hotel, which had this cool luggage wall and has a great view of the incredible Chief. Again, I've made a full video on everything you need to see and do in downtown Squamish here, and that video is also linked below. And so you can check out that video later on, but for now, let's keep moving along up the highway. Leaving Squamish is where we stopped following alongside Howe Sound and start to climb into the mountains. But there are still a few stops worth seeing, I think. This on the left is something I've always driven past but never stopped at. So today's the day, let's check it out. This looks fast and hectic, and that looks calm and relaxing. Let's go in there. Now this is the Braum Lake Interpretive Forest, and I honestly don't know what that means. What is an interpretive forest? Also, I've never stopped here before. I've never seen it busy, but as I'm pulling in today, the two cars in front of me are also pulling in and the parking lot is full. So I assume it's gotta be good, but I have no idea what it is. Now, I'm sure you're wondering to yourself, Mike, why didn't you just go to Whistler? You could have been by the lake all day, or mountain biking, or doing something. But haven't you ever wondered what you're blowing past on the highway all day? Like, aren't you curious to know what you've missed? Because I can't really travel yet, this is my opportunity to fulfill that curiosity? Scratch? I'm making a day of it. I'm having fun. What we got? Braum Lake Interpretive Forest. We are here somewhere. All right, looks like there's a loop. I think most would describe the most scenic highway as the highway with the best views between point A to point B. But what I'm discovering about the Sea to Sky Highway is it does have beautiful views, but it also just has access to different services, activities, foods, interpretive forests. I mean, what I'm getting at is the Sea to Sky Highway is more than the highway. Look at this, look at the size of that thing. Jeez. Pretty big. If an interpretive forest is just surrounded by forest, isn't it just the forest? What is it interpreting? That water looks super refreshing. There's a bunch of people swimming on the other side in the sun, but I promised we would go swimming in Whistler, so we gotta keep going. Two things before we hit the road. Number one, I never found out why it's called an interpretive forest. And two, only because I know so many of you will ask, it's a 2012 Triumph Street Triple. Nothing special. It's a lot of fun. As we're starting to see the snow-capped mountains a little bit more frequently here, we know we're approaching Whistler. And it's incredible to think that what is a 90-minute drive from where we started has filled a full day worth of incredible riding along a road that is never straight and cruises along one of the most beautiful views in the country. But it's also full of worthwhile stops for cultural information, one of the most engaging museums I've ever experienced, exploring around a waterfall, a small city full of charm, and hiking along a lake's edge. And it's easy to get distracted along the drive. So remember to keep your speed down, as it is a fantastic open road, but it's not a racetrack and police are watching for you. And after a long hot day on the road of riding, we have finally made it to our destination here, Alpha Lake, to cool off. All right, we've made it to our lake swimming spot. Now, you know me, I'm going to show you the hidden gem spots. The obvious choice here, Whistler, would be Rainbow Lake Park or Rainbow Park at Alta Lake, but I'm here, if you turn the camera around.
Ciao.
We have a local tour guide here and travel vlogger as well. So I'll link her channel later, but she told us about this spot. Apparently it's the warmest water, and I think we've earned it. So if you're new to the channel, you can click my face right here to subscribe. You can watch last week's video right there. And if you want to support the channel financially, you can join. You'll get bonus features and all early access. I don't know where I'm going next, but I know I want you there with me. See you next time. You said it was warm. I guess you said it was the warmest.